Like, LG
only exist. First night I got here.
It's one of those things I'm going to go immediately counteract myself. I really want to see this Animus team play well.
Me too.
I want
to see Europe as a region play well. I remember the first night I got here and I said what's up to the entirety of the European region. I was like, I just want to see you guys do well. I want to see European team make it to the single elimination bracket, but fairy tales only exist in stories, man. And honestly speaking, they haven't really given me much to go off of.
It's facts. It's just one of those things, like, I'm going rogue on the desk. Like, LG is so much better than Animus, but really, I want to see him play well.
I hold shift compared to Alan talking.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's Al versus Alan here. There we go. Jumping on into the action. Standoff hard point. Nades littering P1. Cartels, another player to kind of keep your eye on here for this LG squad. It definitely feels like a player that often goes kind of untalked about or under the radar, but many a times he can be the X factor for this squad. And he's already started off pretty nicely. A couple of kills, and LG find themselves in the hard point early.
Yep. Early doors, of course, here when it comes down to standoff, but we will be looking towards pretty crucial moments, especially around that P3 timing. When everybody starts getting certain operators online, how do you use those? It's always been a big consideration for North America's shortcomings in recent worlds, so it's a great start to see for Luminosity as they've already soaked up 22+ seconds.
Really good patience here on the rebreak as well from LG. Waiting for help, making sure the pitch is solid before everyone hits at the same time. So convincing opening here for LG and Cartels in particular. Oh, brother. Already off to a 6 with the Pred missile to go. And the kills just don't stop coming. I want to see Animus shoot back, bro. They're just getting rinsed right now. On rotation as well, Pred missile will make sure LG get there first.
Oh, there were a couple kills that did come through for Animus, but what map presence were they able to get from that? They do at least force one to spawn all the way out. Cartels is not necessarily a part of this attempt, but to be fair, neither is Shark, so these nades need to be on point. The hard point might be contested, but here come the kills now in Animus' favor.
Yeah, need to deal with Raptor on the backside, though. He's done well to catch one. Wow. Cartels following up, but the SMG shotgun combination is formidable. 43-3. And Animus just cannot find a way to get themselves set up. Cartels nearly at the Purify already. If he finds a kill here, he very well just pop it, but Animus from the high ground, able to work their way back through. The shotgun is deadly, though, so you're bringing boxing gloves to a shooting ring. Not looking good. Animus able to at least find a way to break things open, so a chance for some score with still 18 seconds to fight.
This is not a good look so far. I mean, Animus are able to break back in, but if you're LG, do you even care? I mean, apparently they do, because they are out. Cartels, they break back inside for the old time here on P2. And the rotation, to be fair, for Animus, you have 2 players around Grandma's. 1 player was lurking around the courtyard area, but since it's been sent back towards the respawn, now lacking in numbers, being isolated, but still Animus finding a handful of kills.
And Shark for 2, making his way through Cafe. Shut down on the rotation into Grandma's house as the spawns look like they will be locked for LG, at least mostly so. Second set of eliminations starting to come through. Cartels in trouble from behind. Has the Purifier out. Would love to find use for this and does well to catch one, but once again, a bit surprised as now all of a sudden everything else gets thrown into the mix and LG will stabilize with just now nades on the way in for Animus.
On the backside, Rav has the equalizer inside of the bedroom, just soaking up the time. He's got his feet up. Grandma's downstairs baking cookies. And Animus are just simply not finding any sort of entrance whatsoever. The War Machine gets invested, comes up absolutely empty. Narcs is at least able to go on a 3 spree, but you still got to be worried about the players inside of the bedroom. By that point, Animus are able to contest the time, inevitably lose the gunfight. It took so long, and they are still down by 80 points.
And Raph just 1v3 up top in Grandma's house.
With the equalizer ran out as well.
Yeah.
Vibing.
Yikes, man. It's tough, man. Tough scene. So Animus need to find a way to regain. We're going to have a 50-50 battle for news, so prime time to check in with the Animus comms with an Animus listening.
Je fais mon clou, les gars.
Je smoke, on va l'air,
Encore clou. Prenez, les gars, faut l'air.
Les gars, back. Allez, back. One, deep spawn. Il est solo, deep spawn.
On commence à pitch. Je vois personne, essayez de lurker.
Derrière le bar.
Je marquette, essayez de lurker, les gars, Il faut un lurk.
Non, hunter.
Les gars, allez. J'allais broquette, t'as marqué, je crois.
T'as marqué. Faut l'air.
La push, Boxis, il a un HP, les gars.
Boxis,
les gars. Je lurk, j'arrive.
Encore un Boxis, il est low. Boxis.
T'as marqué.
T'as marqué, et ferme.
Les gars, faut calmer, go new.
On va aller new, faut le pitch quand même, on est en retard, faut le pitch. J'arrive.
One shot, side.
Vas-y, Encore, allez, go new. Allez, les gars.
Allez, nous, je garde le Boxis. Tape Grandma, mais putain.
Tape Grandma encore.
J'en ai HP.
Je vais purée. J'arrive là.
Oh, that's a set of hills. Proper's face is melted.
I'm just as deflated as this comm sound. I mean,
Wow.
It's just tough to watch. I mean, 14 points through an entire set of hard points. Like, to say LG is having a good time would probably be putting it lightly. You have a combined 48 kills in between both Jez and Raph. I mean, what do you want me to, like, congrats. Like, Cartels has slowed down considerably since the start. But Animus just simply cannot hang with the presence, with the pace, and everything else, other buzzwords that you can throw in for LG. They are just doing everything right.
It just sounds like, again, I don't speak French, but,
No, me neither.
you know, kind of listening in to hear multiple voices at the same time, I feel like everyone's commenting where players are, but no one's taking the quarterback position and saying, guys, we need to go here, or we're hitting now. It just feels like here's two players doing one thing, here's two players doing another. It just doesn't feel concentrated, which is so strange, because this Animus team last year, they didn't qualify through, but they looked so damn good. We talked about Saze being an up-and-coming breakout player, and he's only got 8 kills.
You even go back and you rewatch the Grand Finals versus Exclusive, albeit online. You could just tell how structured Animus did look in that moment, but everybody does have a plan until they are either slapped in the face or are down by 120-plus points at the end of the set of hard points. And you know, this is just Animus currently, but they are starting to claw their way back. Good amount of kills coming through. Saze does have at least a War Machine available and is getting more damage to speak of, but you deal with a handful from the front. The pinch comes through. The operators get popped. Luminosity come kicking the door down.
Yeah, and I will say, like, even in that moment, like, Saze gets a good read that the spawn's flipped.
Yeah.
But there's no one else there to help watch the other angle, so he's got to spam out everything in the War Machine. It just feels like it's just in pieces. So it's going to be over 200 points for LG. Purifier equalizers both being spent to lock down this scrap time. Cartels trying to push out, but at least get some damage done. Animus a chance to contest a little while longer, but it's a mere footnote in what has largely been a story written by LG.
It's a pretty big footnote. Something like size 13 extra wide footnote. 200 to 44. Got a claw that it's at least found further value for Jez, but it's more of a haha to the 34 kills he's already accrued for himself so far. The Predator missile will reveal further information. You look at the rotation over towards Grandma's. Hey, wouldn't you know, we got a Pred missile plus the rotation. That's LG.
Yep. Pred missile does not connect, though. Doesn't matter. They know exactly where the player contested would have come through, and that's enough for Jez to pop off the kill team. LG looking very complete. This is kind of a history. I mean, they were coming off of a loss to Stalwart where they got blown out on a summit, 74 to 250. So you start to wonder, what is going on with LG? But apparently the answer is not much, just hanging out.
I think it's all just like a further learning experience coming through. I mean, we knew that the North Americans were definitely going to struggle when it goes up against the Eastern teams, but versus Europe, this is what we simply call in the biz as a confidence booster.
Yep. I mean, Guathil is out trying to get the Purifier something to connect with. Narc's good hit marker, doesn't finish off the final shot needed, but has the Fennec to do the job. 14 seconds scrap time looking decent, but on rotation again, it's LG who's here first with a perfect setup. Trophy system to keep Cartel safe. Solo challenge. I mean, do we really think that LG isn't here already? Animus just look like they're all playing for themselves, not gonna lie.
Hardly looks competitive at all. I mean, if we can reach 100 points, great. Might be a little bit more respect, but I guarantee you that Animus are probably and respectfully already thinking about that map number 2 and potentially what that firing range might bring, because the standoff hard point in this matchup, it just simply is not it. And it has nothing to do shorter than just the overwhelming and oppressive presence that Luminosity brought straight out of the gates.
Yeah, 100%. Nice moment here from Animus. Little pitch setup.
Yeah.
Pulling the focus from LG's setup, and that's enough for that to be a clean feed. Why are we not doing that earlier? I mean, that was as perfect as it gets.
Yeah.
Nice little trade back here. LG trying to force something through box side. Animus still very comfortable inside the hill, still spawning close towards Hay as well, and the Pred missile will make sure there is no further hit. So, all right, it's a day late and $1 short, but it's good. Finally, we're starting to see something. Animus is like, okay, like this is the team that we expected to see based on the results online.
Multiple hard points late and many different points short, but. Yeah, and again, it's moments like that, like you can see the structure for this team. It's not that they don't know how to play fundamental Call of Duty Mobile. It's just simply the fact of how quick Luminosity were manipulating it that just never allowed Animus to mentally fortify themselves for what we just saw right there. So 55 seconds back towards the center of the map we go. Only 9 required now for LG.
And they have to set up another break attempt, and they need to do it quickly. Equalizers, purifiers, war machines all being spent as LG know that this is likely the final moment of this map. Raph just waiting for the proper time to jump to the hard point with the equalizers. He's actually going to go back over towards Hotel. The slide through, good for the first. Long range shot for the second, also going to be there. But the follow-up from Animus is just as good as the initial from LG. But again, the time just runs out on the map. So, hey, good break on P4 to finish. Decent contest through P1 there, but the first 7 hard points were anything but good.
There's nothing short of what they should look at that if you are Animus and say, look, we simply should be confident. Like, it's not that they are that different. The scoreline will suggest otherwise, but it's just how quickly and how consistently LG were fundamentally playing standoff hardpoint that Exclusive simply couldn't, or I'm sorry, not Exclusive, Animus just simply could not get their feet underneath them.
Yeah.
They just immediately slipped on the proverbial banana peel and then just simply could not get back up. So the hard point goes the way of LG. You got to start thinking about that search and destroy. Again, best of 3s can be so brutal from the time spent in between start to end.
Yep. Well, we'll talk more about that here in a moment. I will say, though, for LG, looking like the clear-cut best chance for North America to find their way back on top of the throne.
Agreed.
That's encouraging, I think, to see them play as cleanly as they had. I think the other part about it is this dynamic. There are 3 layers to how they play with, you know, Raph on a shotgun. You've got, obviously, the Fenix and SMGs, but S-Thug running the Type 19, you know, really laying down the wall from up high.
Yep.
It does feel really solid to see him and Jez play as well as they do together. Because, again, we once at one point, we were talking about, like, Jez is just, he's an animal. He can just run around and do whatever he wants. But seeing him show some maturity, some patience, and playing alongside S-Thug is, I think, really encouraging to the dynamicism that this LG squad has in Respawn.
For me, when you go back and you look at LG even through North America in the previous season of the Snapdragon Pro Series, and even what we just got in this small sample size here, is the amount of setup. It is still very selfless, but they are not scared of playing selfish. Like, they can go out and get all the useless kills, but it's mostly setting themselves up for a team narrative that they are ready to.
LG saying that for the last search and destroyed 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And how far it's come, and even just the last year.
That's why it's so refreshing.
Yeah.
It was obviously a joke, like talking about we should keep counting the amount of like map 2 firing ranges earlier, but like it's so refreshing because the meta on it always changes. You see players like learning how to adapt through different scenarios.
100%. I think that's a lot of credit again to the fact that, you know, the last year in particular, this map was a staple as we got into the playoff bracket, and our Chinese teams really showed how good you can play this map if you have everything set and ready to go.
Totally.
So, definitely changes the identity of what Search and Destroy looks like in the overarching global scene. So let's see how much that has affected these 2 squads on stage, especially for Animus. Because I say, if you win this map, you get to an Arsenal. Not a bad control map for them. In fact, it's a very good control map for them. They're 5-0 on it.
That's why I said it's a toss-up.
Yeah,
I mean, you can use the star comparison for what our data may suggest, and yeah, it is 5-0 against other European teams, but it's still reps on the map, and it's still the understanding of how to take control of that map. It just mostly comes down to a potential opportunity for Animus, should they get to that map number 3, to be able to showcase what it looks like when they are under that pressure, regaining something that we did get to see very late in that map number 1, but I would be here for it as well. But again, just not as a biased caster by any stretch of the imagination, but I would love to see Europe do well. I would love to be able to see them answer the call, but this is a very tall ask nonetheless.
Yeah, 100% the case. Okay, so firing range coming up still. As we had mentioned, for LG, their search and destroy has been very good. Did not drop a single search map inside of their region for stage 4. Trying to carry that on here. And to be fair, like, that status quo squad, I think, really surprised us, mostly off of the Respawn gameplay. Especially against Tribe. And I think Tribe was still trying to figure out region, and Surge is
versus the other wake-up call. You are 1-1. You lose this series, your backs are truly against the wall, and the single elimination bracket becomes that much further away. You win this, you get that much closer.
Yep. Again, 3's the magic number. Whether it be 3 wins or 3 losses, you'll see yourself either moving on tomorrow or moving back to the airport.
Well, that's brutal when you say it like that.
Yep. It's not far away. quick Uber ride away.
It sure is.
Let's get into it. Firing right, search and destroy. We've got Tribe. Luminosity starting on the offensive side. And they will have a quick intention towards B, just overwhelming the solo player and solo trophy of Narcs. Gets naded out of the picture, and a trophy of their own will be placed as LG will go for a quick plant.
I love an immediate turnaround of us just talking about the expensive utility. Just how quick nades came over the top and just how quickly LG just swarmed all the B bomb side and the bomb got planted.
Well, this is different. Shark's going to be using an LMG. Not trying to run an SMG in this opening round. Gothilla around the backside of jungle. Throwing some shots out. It's enough for Shark to find one, but there's just no entry back in here. Machine pistol, tickle it, all you want. Not gonna work out for a kill. And with that, LG off to the races with their first round.
So, albeit some time in between map number 1 and map number 2, it appears that LG are still keeping up at the same pace.
Yes.
We need to start reacting here on defense if you're Animus. These stuns and nades need to be timely. Ceremonious over the top, one all the way through jungle. We'll at least get a lot of information for Rasmo to get first blood.
Dude, just watch number 5 in blue. Look at Shark. This guy is hunting. However, he's not shooting. Only gets one, but that's the play I'm talking about. Smoke deep towards the front window at Wood. Nade to follow, stun to follow, Shark rushing through it. Little god nade over the top of trailer also lands, but LG will commit to get this plant off.
2v4 smash shots coming through from Rasmo. Just lurking inside of American. He's about to get pushed, actually. Directly below him. The timing just not going to be favorable at all. So S-Thug will take down Rasmo. Still have numbers if you are Animus, and they're going to try to wrap this all the way through tires.
I love it. I absolutely love it. The problem is it's being watched, kind of, by Gothilla, and he's good for it. Okay, that's the bomb now down. And it leaves Jez by himself, 1v3. Scope and a Fennec to play with. Gothilla has now rejoined his teammates over through mid. Narcs up top. Likely be the first one to find this. And, well, there's the extra tax, and it'll be Gothilla who will find the final bullet. But, yeah, keep your eye. Every single break off here on defense, watch number 5 in blue. See what Shark does. He's hard to keep an eye on. But if this is the same setup, it's a smoke, it's a nade, it's a stun, and Shark has the opportunity to either play over through trailer or front wood. So there's the smoke, there's the nade, the flash is not there this time. That smoke's a little short. Careful here. He's going to have to try to find his way to wood.
Oh, but he still gets great timing on a Jez who was almost expecting for Shark to be on the opposite side of the trailer. And now you're forced to take a look at Shark. Cartel's up top. Wood has help, though. Nice assistance from Gothilla, but Shark will still die.
I said this over the last 2 years. Anytime you see a smoke at mid with Animus on a defense, you have to stun it. You just have to. You cannot allow Shark to freely push through like that. It's been the same play for 685 days.
Is that actual?
No.
Okay.
Close.
I believed you.
Thank you.
Convincing.
You're welcome.
Numbers still here, and Animus just have to keep holding his angles. I mean, Rasmo's in the perfect position. Even if he dies, doesn't even matter. Still hits the shot. The smoke comes through. And why wouldn't you push it with a machine pistol? 1v4.
Yeah.
King's got a sniper rifle. Good luck. Have fun.
He is in trouble. Good first shot. Decent idea of where everyone else is coming from. And, well, hello? Watched a couple of the shots from Says go right past his nose, but didn't make much of a difference. But, yeah, there it is again. Animus right through the middle of the map has Shark just dominating and keeping LG uncomfortable. Yeah. Got to stun this smoke. You have to stun this smoke.
Smoke out.
Stun it.
Grenade out.
Smoke. Nade. A little deeper this time. Doesn't have immediate assistance is the biggest problem for Sharks. They're actually elected to go inside of wood.
Yeah, just playing back, waiting for him. But the problem would have been the fact that Shark has an SMG, so you get into close quarters like that, and he usually holds an advantage in the 1v1. Not the case this time, as LG just essentially bait Shark in, and that's enough for first blood to get tallied.
That's a big first blood to have for yourself. It means the conductor of the pace of the past few rounds is now gone. What does LG do with this information? They start to take more and more trailer away. This is the biggest problem about how Shark, which is on an island by himself, but Rasmo's still nearby, finds that kill.
Well, and that's the other part about it is, like, the setup doesn't change if Shark drops or not. He just goes rogue.
Yeah.
Everyone else plays the same setup around him. The problem is, as they did lose the focus through mid-map and the flanker, now the retake has to solely come from the front, and uh-oh, that flash doesn't actually get through. Not what you want to see. Doesn't affect this backside of trailer, and that's enough for Raph and Jez to clean things up, no worries.
Yeah, I think it's also a big moment in that 1v1 versus Shark to not allow him to get away with highway robbery. Just any sort of adjustment you can make to a 1v1 gunfight, standing on top of a table, jumping off of it as well, it could throw off the micro adjustments on an SMG player. A little bit more cheeky in creativity coming out from LG in that previous round. This time, it's just straight back to B, much like the first.
Yep, Narcs this time stays alive through the opening Semtex and nades that get tossed. And that's enough for this defense to hold strong. Okay. I was going to say, the other thing that we often have seen when teams are able to deny Shark that early play is that Shark sometimes will overheat a round or two, get caught, and then he says, all right, well, I'm just going to go prone in front of your wood window. My sniper's going to watch over me on one side. I can watch the cross, and they still have mid-map completely dominated. So that is something to kind of keep an eye on if Shark does decide to kind of play forward. No, this time it's just the MG42 spamming through mid. And this will be a very passive setup, with the only exception being Saves, who gets deep in the trailer this time behind that smoke.
And Shark is actually electing to play very far back this time.
MG in his hand.
And you can see just the chaos that it has ensued for the rest of LG to try to meticulously move through the map. They still are able to pick up first blood. Get inside a trailer as well. Rasmus
Nice
lots
shot.
to do, big kill to have.
Yeah, and he has to stay safe back here. Problem is, he could not get deep enough over towards American. So that's going to lead towards LG, clearing out the A side of the map and getting a plant off. Nade over the top, really well placed, but a trophy system denies it. So now the post-plant setup, largely just on top of the bomb. All three members inside a trailer. I think a lot of this is because they know that Narcs and Shark are still alive, and they know that Shark has an MG. So this has to be down to how do you break this open, and oh goodness.
Oh no.
Kings just peeks. Trade is decent though, and now it has to be down to the retake from the front.
Shark hoping for some good timing. Nobody really baiting. Nobody trying to give up any sort of inch. He's going to have to peek with the MG. Finds the first, will be traded. Time's running low, though, and Raph has a shotgun. Narc's able to find the kill. Does he get there in time?
Yep.
Sure does. And that is just many different lessons on why you probably just don't want to be triple stacking inside a trailer for one, but let alone Shark. If he's alive, you feel like anything's possible.
That's very, very true. So 4-2 half. A lot of it just decided based on what Rasmus was able to hit and what Shark was able to take away. Now, here's the thing about how Shark plays this map on offense. It doesn't necessarily change. They still love to throw this opening smoke through mid, try to keep the defense focused off the conditioning they established on the offensive side. But this time, it's going to be first blood tallied through mid, and that's enough for a 5v4 to carry on from here.
Got to be expecting that Shark is getting wildly aggressive, but until you know for certain that he only has an MG, you're never too safe, you'd fear. Got numbers still. Still looking for a little bit more. Trailer control is going to be important should this AXQ come through.
Yeah, this is actually just a 2-2 split up for LG, electing to just give away the middle of the map. It's going to put a lot of stress on this defense towards B in particular, as there's no angle even remotely being watched through mid. I mean, you have Raph kind of checking it every now and again, but he doesn't really have a chance to see all of wood, and that's why. That's because he has to really peek widely, and that's enough for Rasmus to punish. And now we got ourselves a 5v3. Good numbers here for Animus.
Oh, that's Thug looking for the timing.
Yeah.
Premature shots means that you just got to look at that door, and the moment that Kings tries to act, he gets gunned. So Cartels, MG, got more than enough bullets. Can you find the timing for a 1v5? Odds not in your favor.
No. MG go Burr, though.
It do.
Tell you what.
Most certainly do.
Okay.
A couple more rounds away now, and Animus are just waltzing through.
What do you want to do with this R9, Raph? Trailer?
Yeah.
Trailer.
Yeah.
Smoke out.
No. Okay. So a lot of utility spent to get Raph deep with the R9. That's your sole defense at A right now, though. At least that should be the indication. You also got a player in Cartels holding tight on the entryway to B. A little crossfire setup with King. So some cheekiness here in terms of LG being very unpredictable in this opening defensive setup.
Jess is also the bait. He has now joined Raph as far as that A defense is concerned, but they've come up with no information, maybe apart from a couple different audio cues. A lot of lurking happening over inside of the jungle for Animus. They're thinking B.
Does Kings have an angle to hit some sort of an opening snipe? Gets a hit marker. Follow-up. That one will land. Cartels trying to take care of the damage that had been dealt. Tries to play in towards Closet. Backs up, and he runs right into a double stack. So now Kings, how much can he still hold? Backside car. Help is on the way. Nades over the top, trying to slow down Animus from actually getting into the site, but they're actually not committing. And this little finesse of time, this killing of the noise, is going to create so much doubt, but Raph has never left. He's able to shut down one over towards A, and now he's got himself an Odin to play with as well.
And the late He coming through from Philip with the Type 19, right weapon for the job, but I mean, Raph just plays it perfectly, finds the kill, gets inside a trailer. Now he can just lurk. It will be peeked again by Jez, but so isolated are the 3 remaining players of Animus.
This is an important angle for S-Thug. He can now lock down B. It frees up Kings to rotate the scope over towards A, which is still a bit, I would say, well, dicey, to say the least. Quadilla avoids the nade. Has to step out into the open. Good prediction towards backside American, but has to also be the one to commit for the plant. The toesies aren't going to happen. Doesn't make a difference. LG right there waiting as soon as they got the intel.
All right, 1 round at a time for Luminosity, getting themselves closer, diminishing the lead now just by 2. And realistically, it's just slowing down the pace. I mean, Animus kind of did play into that pace itself by trying to roll over towards B and maybe trying to get a bait over towards A, but Luminosity, poised as ever, setting themselves up with a pretty standard defense.
Yep.
Trying to get the information in the lay of the land where Animus are lurking.
Raph, do you want to take the shotty into wood? I don't know if I would. And you will back off.
You will not.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is the thing about like running 2 rounds in a row with Raph with the shotgun is it's going to be a fool me once, shame on me, fool me twice, shame on you type situation if he plays that backside of trailer again. So he's got to take a different angle. And wouldn't you know it, Shark says, you want to play aggressively? Well, okay. It's just S-Thug says, sure, sounds good.
Said, you want to play a game? And he said, we're already playing a game. $1 million prize pool.
Big first blood half of themselves again. The trade is very important for 2 different reasons. You lose the aggression if you are Animus. You lose a scope out of Jez and maybe some other position that you once held for yourself, and lack of information to come through as well. Luminosity are assuming that it's going to be a B push, and albeit the bomb is still lurking on this side.
Oh, what are we doing?
Push it.
Trade is good. I was about to say that here's the issue for Animus is the mind games that have been established is they can't go A without telegraphing it because they have to throw nades to clear out that corner that Raph was in before.
Correct.
So you take this intention towards B, you see an aggressive setup, not only to get 1, but also know that S-Thug is here, and you're going to say, okay, they're going to keep 2 players towards B, let's take our 3v, possibly 1 on the A site, and they're going to see it's wide open. So now Rasmo from the Observer Tower at mid. Focus on the rotation as they do not catch wind of this flank whatsoever, but Cartels is just going to give it away.
Okay, that's not good. 30 seconds, still bomb detonates, and they're all about to be rushing through the dummies.
Yeah, now they know there's 2 players here, just 2 different weapons coming out. First shots are good, trigger disappointed in the corner from Says, and that's enough for Animus to get to 6. I just don't know why we're pre-firing when we're coming on a 3-man flank right there.
There's no, the answer, there's no reason whatsoever. That is either a desk pop or a very unfortunate and nervy mistake, and could end up being the costly one here for Luminosity. The lead is now by 3, and
Holy nades. 1. That's a lot of nades. Trophy systems were enforced though. Spam from the LG not going to work out as Animus will come away 2 for 1. It's Cartels at mid-trailer still in a good spot, but keep your eye on number 2. Rasmo's gotten deep through 10. Catches Jez out completely off guard, and now it's just a 4v2 situation. Animus, huge advantage as they're re-wrap back to B.
Might as well. All the other information would assume that it is vacated. Cartels will take down Rasmo, and the push continues for the team in blue. B-side acquired. How do you retake this 2v3 if you are Kings and Cartels?
With a lot of hope. Shark into play. Topside useless. Kings trying to clear things from the middle with the scope. No peeks yet. Gets a chance, but that's Narcs on the other side, and he will not miss. So now it's just down to Cartels. Picks up a scope of his own. First shot lands. Keep in mind, he does have a Fennec, I believe, in his back pocket. So it should be enough for him to try to clear out some of these close corners, but look at this re-wrap coming out of Says, saying, I know you're coming through mid. I know you got to clear out the backside tires. Now looking good for Cartels. Saves a couple of shots, now something to be dealt with. The Shark in the corner never peaked, and it's an Animus 7-3. And map number 2 giving us the control we all want.
It makes you question, was it continued in the following round? To your point, you almost feel like that he can't find this a similar value without getting too egregious with this positioning. That it was just easy days from there on out for Animus just to continue to play their game.
It's just like, this is like a search and destroy 101. if ever you see an aggressive smoke thrown at you, you have to throw a stun into it.
Yeah.
It's not to necessarily get the status effects on the player pushing. It's just to know there's a player pushing. It's an information game. And it's, I mean, again, it's something that we've seen Shark do for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
And it just still, either whether about neglect or just ignorance, is in there. So now if you just throw one
soon after. So map number 3. One step closer.
I said this around this point last year in the stage, the Swiss stage. NA was down bad. You drop LG, Stalwart is Stalwart and Elevate. But we'll take a look into some of our other streams as we're still getting ready for the Arsenal here. This is our C stream.
Everybody's having a
and we find ourselves on Tunisia between Stalwart and Elevate.
Out of the market, as I say his name. FDX.
And we'll let the casters
yell on that one. Scared finding
take you away for
PJ,
this
but
one.
that's all over. It's a equalizer, courtesy of Stalwart. Let's go to overtime, baby.
What a better way to end this one. I just, I beg we see a game 3 here, AJ, but we've seen this matchup so many times.
All right, so 6-6 the count here as we jump into an overtime situation between these two Garena squads. Again, very well rehearsed versus one another. Just comes down to, again, who can find this edge. Elevate would love to be able to, again, just rue the day that they are even looked at as slightly vulnerable. Again, this is another qualification match. Both these teams at 2-0.
Yeah, Stalwart needing the search and destroy just to extend it to a map number 3. Elevate were able to take that map 1. And a lot of eyes on what this Elevate team is going to do here. The consistency in between CDSI and their lower bracket run is everything that everybody wants to be in a tournament format. Though, first blood, much like how we saw earlier from Elevate, still very good.
And that's just one of those moments where, like, you allow Susano to get that far forward. He's got such an easy exit back, so it's free. And now Kendi's trying to do the same thing on the other side of the map. Now, Stalwart's going to be aware that this is a possibility. Just comes down to will they actually catch the angle, because Kendi is hugging this wall, but up and over should be a freebie, and it is. So an early trade back. Now all of a sudden the defense has to worry about, hey, we haven't seen anything at B. Could this be an A hit?
Late stun through mid, not going to connect with anything whatsoever. And still just struggling to find some information. And Stalwart try to maneuver their way just outside of the winery. They got a player in a position to maybe try to work a little bit of bait, but the bomb is late on this rotation. 28 seconds remain.
FDX trying to clear things out from the front. And they will find the opening. Okay, PJ drops, only taking one with him. Defense quickly on the rotation over with 15 seconds to play with. This has to be a commit for the bomb plant. EG's just playing forward. Yeah, he's going to get a little bit caught here, or is he? He finds Yopi on the mantle. Decent response for Susano, but the bomb does get planted. So we go 2v2. Klo over the top. That's clean. Almost able to snap onto the second, but Klo gets caught on the reload. That's enough for Elevate to take the edge of the OT.
The massive momentum going in towards the defense, which is how good the sniping from Susano has been on this Friday afternoon. Again, you are now 1 round away for Elevate, being only the second team to make it towards the championship bracket. Again, we saw X-Rock 2-0 Wolves unceremoniously not too long ago. You'd expect Elevate to make it towards the single elimination bracket as to take down one of their fellow region teams along the way.
Yeah, lots of nades being thrown from Elevate immediately into the A site. There is a deep smoke here. Susano also helping open up the site with a late stun. PJ in the corner trying to clear things out bottom side winery. Geese and trades coming out, and Oscar is not quite able to lock down the shots at range. Elevate with the numbers. And well, it's his last chance saloon here, 1v4 situation. Everyone knows where the last member is, and no worries there. Elevate clean through the overtime, win it 8-6, and they will 2-0 their regional counterparts and make their way into tomorrow's bracket as one of the top 2 seeds.
We'll say this much. I mean, that, albeit an unfortunate loss for Stalwart, you still got to be feeling pretty darn good about yourself. Just keeping that search and destroy as close as they did. I'm not too sure what the scoreline was in their map number 1, but regardless, playing Elevate that close, especially off of recency, you got to be feeling pretty darn good about that. It's only their first loss, so still plenty more COD left to be played.
Absolutely the case. And I will say, I think just kind of like we weren't really sure what the expectations were going to look like for Stalwart. They've done well to this point.
Yeah, they have.
Obviously, they're 2-0. It's going to have nothing but qualification games the rest of the way, whether they do it in the next round or the one afterwards. So, some freedom, some buffer after the hot start, but the bracket only gets more difficult as teams continue to eliminate each other.
That's how things go sometimes.
That's how brackets work, yeah.
It's quite literally the point of a bracket, yeah.
Correct, yeah. The worst teams get eliminated, better teams move on. It's, yeah.
Wow. You're so good at that.
I don't know, whoever cooked up the first bracket, genius.
Yeah, oh yeah. It's like making the first beef Wellington, but for like brackets. It's amazing. I'm hungry. Sorry, I'm hungry.
Fair, okay. Here we go. On to the Control at Arsenal, our feature matchup, Animus and LG. Again, both teams have really enjoyed playing this map, and they both have found flawless success inside their regions. But the opening in towards A for LG, good. Even better that they get some top window control here. Follow-up from Rasmo, fighting back. That's not bad, as he finds 2 with the machine pistol. Just when he thought LG was going to get a free first tick, it's immediately responded by Animus' defense.
A lot of people have heard me talk about control, but it might be a broken record to some, but it is so true on Arsenal. So break-off dependent, but it honestly, a round could end as it starts, but nice trades to at least come through. Still trying to jostle for position, maybe over towards this B. Control zone, Cartels, 1v1 inside of the lounge has to favor the reload, but still holding the space is very difficult to try to combat back from. You want the statue, but cannot hold no longer.
This is interesting. Raph is just kind of hanging out at mid, making sure the pitch stays safe. Curious, to say the least. And that's going to be enough for Animus to just respond to the play over towards the opposite zone, clear it out, and hold 2 life edge. There's the bait and switch. Doesn't even need to be needed, as now Raph is able to find the first for free. Narc's now trying to play his life backside of the tower. Staying in the zone for some contest. And he's got help here. So again, LG, what do we got? Trying to fight pillar to pillar. Flash on one side. Odin just trying to lock down the corner, and now here's the best chance. Damage going to be tallied. First shots are good, and the follow-up is better. So now the clock will stop at 31 seconds with LG on the A zone.
13 plays up against 14 again. Still very much so anybody's round, but Kings just use it up at the utmost wrong time. Still, clock being stalled out. 2 players strong around the A control zone. Reinforcements on the way.
Yep. Second tick looking good. Spam to the door for Jez, not gonna land. Flank on the way from Animus. This is taking a lot of time, and they may just be chalking this. Try to get into the spawn a little bit, deal some more damage to the life count. Problem is, now you've got all of a sudden the ability just to flood through main lobby. Good crossfire setup for Animus. Enough to deal damage, slow down the play just a touch, but Raph is going to get around the back. Hunter Killer Drone now moving through, and uh-oh, we have a battle of spawn traps coming up.
Yeah, this is basically a base race when it comes down to control on Arsenal, but the biggest issue is that if more kills start to come through, what are you supposed to do if you're 1 and 3 in blue? You almost have to give it up, come down the stairs, and that's exactly what the call will at least be for Says. And come help out his former teammates, but you still got 3 more Luminosity players in your spawn, 2 Animus players in the opposite spawn, and so far as the numbers go, Animus are coming out on top.
Well, this is Arsenal, friends.
What?
Yep. Spawn die. Spawn die.
You're running out of lives.
Here's the thing.
You're running out of lives.
There's no more spawns left now all of a sudden for LG. And now we got ourselves a 3v3.
Dude, what?
Wait. What? What is this?
We base race and we flip the map. The Predator missile gets called in as well. It's just information. It doesn't even find a kill.
Oh, man. It's a round of search and destroy. Sparrows are through. Oh, my goodness. This is control.
No, we have lost control. We have lost control. Rasmus Hunter Killer Drone's gonna take down Cartels. And I love this call coming out from LG. Don't chase the kill. Rasmo thinks he can win this 1v2 with the claw.
Oh, he sees the player inside the vent. Does he get the snap? Almost. But wow. I mean, that's control for you on this map. You just take away all the respawns, then you play whatever's left. It's a 3v2, 3v3.
but it's a hell of a call coming through for LG. I mean, whether they got the information or not, just to push all the way through the lobby side like you were talking about, I don't think that Animus knew that that was going to be a thought, a process for LG to try to do, but brilliant as it may be, coming down to a final 1v1 and 5 segments to boot for Luminosity.
It's my first time actually casting Arsenal Control in this game. Wow.
You remember when the biggest problem that you and I had to worry about was the head glitch on the statue?
Just wow.
We've come so far.
Yeah, well, have we?
No, but we've gone places.
Animus now have the offense. Oh, mercy me. Down 2 lives early, and you've got LG starting to push up through trophy side. Now, you have also gotten Shark through on the opposite through elevator, but he's being chased by Cartels who's seen him. Shots are coming out. Spawn Trap trying to get affirmed for both sides, and Shark will only find one before falling. So damage has been mitigated, and now LG control the map with only 35 seconds to the clock.
You just can't help but giggle just watching the mini-map when it comes down to Arsenal control. I mean, LG, they won the break-off. They saw one player, Shark, trying to work at the spawn trap. I was like, hey, get out of my house. Get off my lawn. And they're trying to do the same exact thing on the opposite side, but a little bit more passive is LG in their setup, not trying to cut off away from the map until they get another clean 3-4 dead. Razmo will at least find a trade, but a very good defensive opening for LG here.
Raph, a little bit of a slide and dance with Shark, who had the gloves out. Wins it. Long-range shots from Jez also decent, but has to help out onto the zone. Raph, a little bit of trouble in towards double doors. Razmo still getting the work done. Holy smokes, Razmo is off to the races. Does eventually see his teammates fall, and with so he will also drop. So now 19 plays 12, and LG looking comfortable. Just a second they have to kill off the clock.
At this point, you're just hoping to salvage anything if you are Animus. I mean, the fact that you almost got that first segment is saying a lot, but I mean, LG in the response, continuation of what we were talking about, going back towards that standoff, you give these guys any sort of area to control, they know quite well how to take that space and then make you to have more and more less space. So one more round away for Luminosity to increase their entire lead on the day, get themselves close towards that.
Yeah, and I love this. You have Pred missiles, you have operators go to B. This is something we saw back in 2019 for Black Ops 4. You got streaks, take them to the outside point. It gives you so much freedom, so much control. And now Animus need to make a really tough choice, because you can't just play for spawn traps here. You got to get your defense going. And the second tick of progress is pretty much already gone. Kings somehow loses that battle with an Annihilator. Says takes him out of the picture, and that's enough for Animus to regain control at B and deplete the second tick of progress.
You got one player inside of your spawn, though. It's Jez. Pulls out the claw and almost loses his life. Just barely holds on, and now the spawn trap is in. Little spawn protection, able to at least get yourself moving if you are Razmo, but you still die. Jez is still alive in that spawn, by the way. Finds two more, and it's still going, by the way. And now you got to start wondering if you are safe. Do you try to do the same? It might be too late. Jez even calls in a Pred missile, will lose his life, but once the dust is settled, it's 22v19.
Yep, and that's stuck to just pop the doors, use the spare to clean out the lobby. Not landing yet. Lots of shots already spent. In fact, the whole thing is gone. War Machine from deep. Also not coming up here. Eventually, Razmo drops, but the focus from the front is still less than convincing right now for LG. There's a pinch on the way, it does get shut down. So a chance to jump on, get this second tick of progress worked on, especially now that there are 4 members still surviving for LG's offense.
And still working up that second segment. You have to contest if you are Animus, while also finding eliminations along the way. And they are doing everything possible to try to do that, plus some extra. The kills come through, the segment gets depleted. Animus are not done yet.
Not yet. A couple of operators at the ready as well. Saves for the War Machine. Razmo has his available on top of it. Nades cooked up by Raph, all towards lobby's side. That will not land. Trophy systems in place to keep the defense safe, but Cartel sneaks through the vent. Trophy down for the offense now for LG. Trades on the point. Here comes the claw. Last thing standing for Razmo. And may have been enough. He gets a couple eliminations, but Cartel's one of the last ones surviving for LG. Finds a double. Now joining him is another member, and that's going to be the second tick done with the third on the way.
Nobody's hitting around. They're all just kind of trying to rush up through the stairs, hoping that the nades find the value to get them the space up the stairs.
Well, the opening shutdown is decent. Thug off the reload, trying to hold on to these long-range headies. Tough battles over towards the top of the staircase. 11v6. And is still chewing back into this. Finds the kills they need, but it's an 8v5 with a minute 13 on the clock.
Plenty of time left to try to hold on if you are Animus. The problem is you have to play flawless, and you want to hold on to that maybe for another round, but desperation might ensue.
Yeah.
You're being flanked. Cartel's looking to work a pinch.
Yeah, tough decision that has to come through here for Catholic, knowing that there are no more respawns. If something looks very dicey, you may just have to make a gut check call to see another round. Cartel's around the back, has not found anybody yet. Thug has been damaged by Razmo. That's enough to at least allow the initial trade to come through. More now from the front. 40 seconds on the clock. 7v3 should be clear shooting for LG from here on out, especially as they've cleared off the zone. There's the clock on the pause. Not sure where Shark is, but they find him. And it all rests with one. Says backside staircase, can't get away, and LG will take a 3-0 in the control and get themselves a second win in the Swiss bracket.
Yeah, big momentum swing coming here for LG. Taking down back-to-back European teams. This one, tested, firing range. Definitely need to go back and try to
learn from those mistakes if you are Luminosity Gaming, but a step in the right direction to maybe try to get NA back into a brighter light of a conversation. I throughout both of the respawns that we got, how aggression does.
Yeah, it was just, you know, seeing Raph and I think in particular Cartels really show up for this squad is refreshing. I think just kind of across their history, they've often been looked at as kind of, yeah, part of the team, but never been kind of the stars. But here, I thought they played absolutely meticulously well. They were making all the right reads, all the right moves, and of course, a couple of just great individual moments. So, you know, you think back to Raph with the shotgun top grannies, 1v3, wins all 3. It's like moments like that that are major difference makers and completely changes the dynamic of a map.
They forced so many awkward positions and probably a lot of things that Animus were not utterly prepared for. Probably knew that it was possible playing against a very top team, let alone all of North America, but you could just tell just the stark comparisons in between the two regions in this very series.
Yeah. And it's just, again, it's Shark on firing range. It's just...
It's a staple.
It's a staple. It really is. So, really clean stuff. I think we can get Europe into that playoff bracket.
Definitely saw some polished moments there out of Luminosity.